welcome to Southeast Florida Real Estate and Lifestyle. I'm Susan Myers. Today's podcast focuses on property management, which continues to be a growing industry in Southeast Florida. With me today is Benjamin Jean, founder, president, and CEO of Kai's Property Management, a full-service Southeast Florida property management company affiliated with the Kai's Company, Southeast Florida's oldest independent real estate brokerage in business since 1926. A Columbia University graduate, Ben's experience in real estate began as a young boy with his family's commercial real estate firm in West Bloomingfield, Michigan. Seeing great potential in the South Florida marketplace, Ben relocated to Southeast Florida in 2008. And in 2014, he launched Kai's Property Management, offering a full suite of property management services to include move-in and move-out inspections, complete with videography, rent collection, invoice payment, and a readiness to respond to any late-night distress calls. Welcome, Ben. It's nice to see you. Nice to have you here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
You know, I'd like to start out by telling our viewers who your clients are, what your customer base, because I know it's not just one. You've got different business silos here.
Sure. So, great question. We work with a single owner that owns one single property, all the way through to investment groups and private equity groups that own hundreds of properties. So it isn't just for the large equity group, private equity groups. It's for the single homeowners who may be relocated for Customs and Border Patrol jobs or may be leaving the state for a year. As long as they're going to lease their property out, we are happy to help them manage it.
Excellent. Now, is there of that, say, those different sort of, I call them business silos because
Sure.
They certainly are, when we measure profit and loss and things like that, where do you think your greatest base is coming from?
I think it's split, right? So we have a few private equity groups that make up a significant amount of the units that we manage. But if you're talking about individual owners versus the private equity groups, there's far more individual owners that have 1, 2, 3, or 5 units that we manage for. Mm-hmm. They make up the bulk of our business.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Sure.
Is there one segment of your business that you're trying to, say, grow faster than another?
Well, we like to have some diversification in our portfolio,
Yes.
right? As the market turns, some investment groups, big groups, will get out of the real estate game.
That's right.
And still having those individual owners is great.
Yes.
But we also do multifamily and we do commercial. So we're putting a heavy emphasis on growing our commercial side and our multifamily side because we have so many individual single residence homeowners that we see a big growth potential in that market.
Yeah, I can see why you'd have to diversify, as you said. Investors do come and they do go.
Right, especially now you see a lot of investors who are selling down here in South Florida because the market is so hot and because the values have risen, right?
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. So are there any, with that said, your service offerings, from my perspective, are very deep and very wide.
They are.
Which, if you're going to diversify, say, in a moving target market, that's probably a great anchor for you, is offering the kinds of services that, like the law of attraction, they're there now and they're there whenever, whether you're buying,
Sure.
selling, whatever. What do you think let's talk about those service deliveries.
Sure, so you're talking about what separates us from the competition.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So one of the things that we've done is we've heavily invested in technology. So not only do our tenants get their own portal access where 85% pay rent online, they submit all their maintenance requests online, they have access to all of their documents online, and so that's very nice. But our owners have the same portal access. For the owners, it has their monthly statements, it has every invoice directly from the vendor uploaded there. It has the videos that we take, like you mentioned, we do move-in video, move-out video inspections. It has everything, all the notices, all the leases. So it's a one-stop shop for our owners. There's an app for it. And what's really nice is come the end of the year, when it comes to tax time, our owners don't have to put together spreadsheets of all of their income and expenses.
Right.
We can provide them with all those statements. They have access to all of the details. So that's really nice. It also keeps them apprised. They get an email notification when rent's been paid. They get an email notification when there's a maintenance request or anything happens on the property. It's all about transparency and the ease of communication, right? And that's what we like.
Yeah.
And the second piece, as we mentioned, was the move-in, move-out video inspection.
Yeah.
So for years and years and years, typically agents will do a move-in walk sheet where everybody signs, right?
Yes.
Which are great, and we still incorporate that into our service.
Yeah.
But we took it a step further, and we said, people can argue with a written piece of paper. You can't argue with video.
Right.
Every move-in and move-out, we do a video inspection where we go through and we turn on lights, fixtures, appliances, we get the walls, the floors, the ceilings, and it really does not only create the evidence come move out, but our owners who might live out of the state, out of the country, they actually get a walkthrough video of their property, a virtual tour.
Yep.
And then when it comes time for move out, whether that's a year down the road, 2 years, 5 years, we take another video.
Yeah.
And that way we have the condition documented so that if there are security deposit claim issues, we have that evidence.
Right. And it's real time.
Yep.
See, I like this whole transparency thing.
Yeah.
Even with the videos of the move in, move out, it's real time, and that's very special. Date stamped and real time.
Oh yeah. Everything is cataloged.
Evidence based.
Evidence-based. And what's nice is that, and I'm always proud of this, is that we don't mark anything up, right? Most companies out there are going to mark up on their maintenance, on evictions, on everything. It's a way to make money.
They're going to unbundle the service.
My feeling is that does not align me with the owner. If I'm going to make money every time there's a maintenance request, frivolous or not.
Right.
So everything is a pass-through cost to the owners, which we find savings for them because we do volume work, we can buy it cheaper.
Right.
And that way our owners have more money, which means hopefully they can buy more investment properties.
That's
and
right.
if not, then they still have more money.
Yeah.
But we are aligned rather than me, making money on every single maintenance request that comes in.
Exactly. And I think and I might be wrong, but that's my take on a lot of the property management contracts are that they will just unbundle everything and you are being charged for this. And it seems to me, certainly as a homeowner, and I've also owned property back up in Massachusetts and multiple properties. I don't think I would like that very much. I want the relationship. I wouldn't have the same relationship as I would have if somebody says, "Here's what we do, and here's what you can count on." None of this other stuff.
Right, and that's how we set it up, and that's one of the benefits of being part of the Kai's company. Right. Is that we are very customer focused, customer minded, and we want to do the next right thing.
Yeah.
And so being able to operate the company not based on nickel and diming and sucking every penny out of it, but doing the right thing and making sure that everybody's taken care of is really a blessing.
Yeah, boy, that says a lot. It says a lot. It means a lot.
Yeah.
To your client base. Let's talk about, we know that property management, real estate in general, requires certainly your ability to changing environments. And we live in interesting times right now, okay?
To say the least.
To say the very least. How are you dealing with COVID? How's that impacting?
Yeah, so COVID for everybody, whether you're in property management, real estate, any profession or industry has been affected. Property management uniquely because we collect rent for our owners, and if people lose their jobs, they can't pay rent, right?
Yeah.
And so a big concern at the beginning of COVID was, are we going to get any rent with unemployment being so high?
Right.
I'm happy to report that we pivoted, we changed our strategy. We've collected on average 95% of the rent every month, which is at minimum 8% higher than the national average of property management companies. But one of the things we did was we sat down at the beginning and said, not only are there eviction moratoriums out there, but you have tenants who are struggling. People are legitimately struggling.
Yeah.
It's not that they don't want to pay their rent.
Right.
Okay? We could only identify throughout this whole situation 3 tenants who we believe are taking advantage of the situation.
Yeah.
So we reached out to the tenants. We asked how they were doing. touch base with them. We worked out payment plans where required. In some cases, we allowed them to use their last month's rent, not their security deposit.
Yeah.
But we also went a step further, and we looked around the communities and we said, who's offering assistance? Is it the county? Is it United Way? Is it churches, synagogues? And we helped our tenants apply for those stimulus monies.
Fabulous.
We've collected
Fabulous.
a tremendous amount of money from the counties, from the churches, helping our tenants through those
I
situations.
think that is a real distinguishing factor. That takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and dedication to ensuring that you're helping people in times of great need.
It does, and that's a testament to my team. I can't do it by myself.
Without a
we
doubt.
have a tremendous team, and my property managers, my administrative staff, I mean, they have gone above and beyond while they were dealing with their own problems during COVID.
Exactly.
To work through that. But I think that's a testament to the philosophy of the company in terms of making sure, because it works for everybody. Tenants are less stressed, the owners get their
That's
money,
right.
and everybody's happy.
That's right. I think people play very well together.
Yes.
When they know that there are efforts out there to seek out solutions during a time where you feel things are out of control. Well, there are also some things that are also in control and out there that you can take advantage of.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, my dad always said to me, if you don't like dealing with problems, don't go into business.
Boy,
Right?
is that
I
true?
mean, that's what business is. It's problem
sure
solving.
is.
And,
It
and
sure is.
even more so property management, because we get the calls at 2 o'clock in the morning
Yes.
that the ceiling's falling in or this is overflowing.
Right.
You know, we are almost built to deal with pivoting and reacting to situations and
Right.
finding the solutions.
Yeah, I love the whole community outreach. That to me, and also their response.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's been very nice to see. I
Yeah.
think everyone can agree that there have been some positives to come out of COVID.
Yeah, the
and
silver
that
linings.
would be one of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What other silver linings?
Well, business related or life related?
It could be either one.
Sure. Well, for one, I always like to say I've loved how the pressure has come off during COVID. Meaning that I always had the pressure to be at work functions after hours and to be everywhere. Right. And the pressure has been relieved, which has been nice because the byproduct of that is I have 2 young kids, 7 and 5.
That's right.
And we've never had so many family dinners and so much family time. It's been tremendous. I mean, it's been wonderful. So I think there are some silver linings. I think a lot of us are certainly ready to get back to whatever normal is.
Right.
But there have been some silver linings for sure.
Yeah, I think so as well. We're seeing that all over the place. Fascinating. When we think about COVID and we think about people working at home, that's going to have a major impact on some of our commercial buildings where people have been going to work and getting on elevators where they say, well, no more elevators. I come from Boston, so I work downtown Boston. It's very different there. I was there not too long ago. I can drive through the city with great ease. Many people are working from home. Yeah.
Yeah, if we can figure out how to repurpose office towers, we can make a lot of money together.
Right. That's a whole other subject. There's so many other things I wanted to talk about, but we can't do it all in our short time together. So I'm certainly hoping that we can have another conversation too another time. One of the things it's always changing. The laws and everything is our service animals versus emotional support animals. That's a whole other topic that I'd actually like to go into one time with you. We can actually spend time on that. What other things can you tell me about Kai's property management that our viewers really need to know? I mean, we kind of talked about distinguishing factors, but is there anything else that you want our viewers to know?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is customer service and communication, right? I mean, my big thing when I talk to my team and we have our team meetings is communication. You can prevent, you can, handle a lot of situations just by proper communication. And one of the big issues in the property management industry, in my opinion, is you typically have communication breakdown.
Yeah.
It happens in a lot of business.
Yeah.
But more so in property management because you have, when I talk about real estate deals, right, transactions,
Right.
you have a deal and the deal gets done.
Right.
It's done, right? Property management, you have a leasing agent, a tenant, an owner, and a property manager, right? And so that becomes a bit of a marriage.
Right.
And it's sort of like a sister wives marriage because you have
yeah.
4 people involved.
Right.
And so communication is everything.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we really excel at is communication.
Well, I think you do that very well just because of your transparency.
Correct.
I mean, that in and of itself is probably the highest form
Yeah.
of communication is transparency.
That helps us for sure.
yeah.
It puts us ahead. It's almost a CRM, if you will.
Yes.
But what I talk about is when you have a situation that arises, right? Let's say there's a big maintenance request. The air conditioning goes out in the summertime,
Right.
and it can't be fixed,
Right.
right? So we have in place not only a communication system, but we have a reserve for the owner to plan for these things, right? And we have in our contracts and in our handbooks, how we handle those situations. I'm big on preventative items rather than handling a situation when it comes in. And a lot of that's communication because we communicate that up front.
Right.
Another item that differentiates us, I think, is when we take over a property, we actually go through and we detail that property. So we take down the make, model, serial number of all the appliances, all the toilets, anything that has that. Because let's say in month 3 a tenant calls and they say the toilet runs every 10 minutes.
Yes.
Well, we know that's probably a flapper or a fill valve in the toilet.
Right.
But there are thousands of toilets out there.
Right.
I go to my file and I see, it's a Kohler, Lowboy, this toilet. We can come prepared with the parts, which is going to cut down on the cost to the owner for labor. It's going to keep the tenants happier because they don't have to wait there for someone to go see what it is, go to the store, come back.
Very smart.
So it's all about doing these preventative items.
That's a real due diligence, quality control process. Congratulations on that one.
Well,
That's
thank you.
excellent.
We
now,
try.
What happened? I know you try. I like that. Now, let me just say this. When it comes to vendors, now lots of homeowners, I use this air conditioning company. So are you using their people because they say this is who services my properties, or does KPM, Kai's Property Management, have their own cadre of people?
That's a fantastic question because I get that all the time.
Yeah.
And the answer is we are happy to use an owner's vendors.
Okay.
Assuming they have the proper license and insurance. We have a vendor packet because we do our due diligence and we vet all of our vendors.
Right.
And we want to make sure everyone's protected.
Yes.
But there is a value in having the owner's AC company who has been servicing that unit for 15 years, who has the knowledge of that air conditioning system, who may have actually installed it, be the one to work on it. We do have a very deep bench of vendors that if the owner doesn't have those people available, that we can call upon very quickly.
And this would be your own benchmark strength of people that you have your preferred vendor list.
Correct, because we also know their pricing, so we know who's going to, we've worked out pricing deals with them
we
can save our owners money. But again, because we don't mark up maintenance, it's all a pass-through cost to the owner.
Right.
If they want to use their plumber, their handyman, their AC person, as long as we can vet that they have the credentials that they need, we're happy to use them.
Do you find that based on all of that, because you've done all that benchmark strength and pre-qualification, pre-approval, do you find that your customer base is saying, let's use your people?
Majority do.
I would say. Yeah,
if not, one of the things that we do is we offer the ability that even if you're going to use your person, why don't you let our guy just take a look and give you a price?
Exactly.
There's no harm in it. It doesn't cost you anything. If we can save you money.
Right.
And the other thing that we do is, as you know, we have an insurance division within the company.
Right. Yeah.
And I send our owners' policies to the insurance company to see if we can beat those prices every single time.
Excellent.
And that's an additional savings for our owners.
Yeah.
So we really try in every which way to help our owners make the most of their investment.
And also, too, keeping them whole and safe at the same time. I mean, as I'm listening to you, I'm thinking about we all feel safe and whole when we know that we're being taken care of, as opposed to scratching our heads or losing some sleep, wondering, am I with the right company? Well, this has been great. I mean, I could go on. I could talk to you a lot more.
As could I, right?
I certainly could. But I think we have to wrap it up for today. Before we go, though, I want to make sure that I could share your information.
Please.
With the folks out there. Hey, for those of you who have questions and would like to reach Ben, I'm going to suggest that you go to the website, first of all, to know more about KPM, Keyes Property Management. That's www.keyes, K-E-Y-E-S, PM.com. You can also reach Ben through the telephone number. This is the office number, 561-598-5760, 5760. And his email address is B, and that's Gene, at Keyes, K-E-Y-E-S, PM.com. So feel free to reach out to Ben for your questions. And then for those of you who are considering buying or selling in Southeast Florida, feel free to reach out to me directly at 561-676-5786. And my email address is Susan Myers, M-E-Y-E-R-S, at Keyes, K-E-Y-E-S.com. Thank you, folks, and have a great day. See you next time.